Hello everyone. Today our topic is illegal organizations causing externality, the case of Mafia toxic waste dumping in Italy. Here is the content of our presentation, and I will start with the background. In southern Italy, there is a place people call the Triangle of Death. This region is in Campania. It's become infamous for illegal toxic waste dumping, mostly carried out by organized crime groups like the Camorra. The liver cancer death rate here for men is almost 3 times the national average. People suspect that these high cancer rates were linked to pollutions from toxic waste. And in 2021, Italy's National Health Institute officially confirmed this connection. Then, in 2023, another report found that the death rate in this region is 9% higher than the rest of Campania, with significantly more cases of cancer and respiratory disease. The illegal waste trade works like a black market supply chain. Companies in northern Italy don't want to pay the high cost of legal waste disposal, so they pay the Camorra Mafia instead. The Mafia takes the waste and dumps it in the countryside, often with no rules or supervision. They get away with it because they know the area well and have strong connections with local officials. This illegal industry started in the 1980s when factories produced more toxic waste and legal disposal became too costly. In the lag south with few jobs, the Camorra steps in. Corruption and weak oversight let the system grow, so it was able to survive for decades.
Currently, the government has failed in its duty to address the mafia's illegal dumping of toxic waste. Now, let's discuss how the government should step up and take responsibility for managing this issue. From the lessons, we have learned about methods to reduce environmental negative externalities, such as Pigovian tax, emission caps, and cap-and-trade systems. However, in the context of this article, the source of the negative externalities is the Mafia, an illegal organization. Traditional measures like taxation are likely inefficient against criminal entities. Therefore, in this section, we will explore how governments can address the negative externalities caused by illegal organizations like the Mafia. First, we need to rebuild oversight agencies to fight the Mafia. The first thing is financial regulation. Government should also authorize banks to closely monitor suspicious fund flows. Cross-border cooperation is also essential, which means requiring EU anti-money laundering agencies to investigate international fund flows and freeze Mafia assets. And we also need to impose severe penalties on companies still dumping illegally. Next, we need special environmental courts where witnesses can testify anonymously, and in corrupt hotspots, the government should directly deploy anti-corruption commissioners to take over enforcement. Second, corporate governance is critical. Government should protect whistleblowers, offering exemption to firms that expose mafia extortion. Simultaneously, businesses should be legally required to disclose complete waste management information, including transportation routes, contractor qualifications, and inspection reports for regulatory oversight. And independent auditing bodies are the most important. We should conduct random inspections and verifications of corporate waste disposal records to prevent self-reporting fraud. Also, we need market-based interventions. In the short term, governments can subsidize legitimate recycle firms to lower the processing costs and undermine the mafia's market dominance. Once the industry is standardized, Pigovian tax, emission quotas, cap-and-trade systems, and other economic incentives can be regularly reintroduced. In the long run, we should increase investment in waste processing technology to improve efficiency. Also, for violators, strict penalties, including blacklisting, criminal liability, license revocation, and heavy fines, must be enforced.
The fourth suggestion is creating legal job opportunities for former Mafia members. Many of them join the Mafia due to poverty or lack of choices. If they are willing to surrender or help the government with investigations, they should receive lighter punishment and be given jobs in environmental cleanup. We can learn from the US gang exit strategy, where former gang members are hired to do useful work. They can be paid based on how much waste they have removed or be trained to work in waste treatment plants. This helps them return to society in a positive way. Fifthly, we propose a full set of environmental and health recovery measures. To begin with, the government should calculate how serious the damage is. This includes land pollution, rising carrier rates, lost income from farming and tourism, and even social issues like migration. Tools like cost-benefit analysis can show that the long-term damage is much worse than the short-term profits made by the mafia. For cleanup, we need to use a mix of technologies, like removing polluted soil, using chemicals to stop heavy metal spread, and introducing special bacteria to break down harmful materials. On the public health side, the government should offer free carrier screening, clean food and water, and mental health support. Policies should also include applying for EU funds and using seized mafia money to pay for health and environmental programs. Third, we need clear and practical evaluation indicators. These include checking if pollution levels meet EU standards, whether carrier rates drop, how much farmland and tourism recover, and how satisfied local people are with the results. Regular monitoring and third-party inspections are also important to make sure the plans really work. The sixth recommendation is building a public information platform. The government should publish real-time pollution data, report which companies break the law, and show how they are punished. At the same time, a hotline, like Italy's Green Hotline, should be set up, so the public can safely report illegal activities and even get rewards for useful information.
And the next part is the suggestions when regulation fails. When the government fails to protect the environment, we cannot wait, we must act. Firstly, we need independent monitoring. Technology like satellite images and GPS can track waste in real time. Even without government help, we can uncover environmental violations. Secondly, we must empower citizens and NGOs. Local communities are the first to notice problems. With training and support, they can become watchdogs, protecting their environment from the ground up. Thirdly, we need transparent public reporting. Open data platforms should let everyone see pollution levels, waste rules, and the violations, and public pressure creates accountability. But we also need strong government policies to stop the crisis at its root. We urge the Italian government to, firstly, increase funding for environmental enforcement, especially in the high-risk areas like Campania, and implement real-time tracking systems with GPS and blockchain, and also impose harsher penalties on polluters and seize their assets, and also support local oversight, including citizen-led reporting and education, and finally, establish a health compensation fund for victims. In conclusion, the environmental disaster in Italy's Triangle of Death is not just about waste, it's about the failure in governance. It shows how pollution becomes a negative externalities, where profits come at a public cost, but budget are the moral choices. Italy must choose life and justice over corruption and neglect. Let triangle of death become not a symbol of failure, but a turning point for environmental renewal. And this is our references, and thank you for watching.